beat his ass for y'all.
Wait,
For
I don't
real.
give
I better be quiet.
I don't give a f*** y'all was
all that
quiet,
ski
y'all,
man
if
and
y'all
all
was
that.
loud.
They got the hood over there, man.
Like, twisted up. I don't give a f about nothing.
Gervonta Davis and Lamont Roach scheduled to have a rematch sometime this summer, maybe early fall. All indications, based on the announcements that we have, is that the fight is more than likely going to happen in August.
And Gervonta, you think?
I like Lamont in the rematch. I think
you were one of the few that kind of picked Lamont to.
Rematch is confirmed, and both Gervonta Davis and Lamont Roach participated in a heated interview where emotions ran high. They exchanged strong words, and the tension was clear. Davis spoke with confidence, while Roach made it known that he's ready to fight back. The Gervonta Tank Davis versus Lamont Roach rematch is now official, and fans are eagerly anticipating a very different outcome compared to their first fight. Speculation continues over the date, with many hoping for an August showdown, though there are concerns it might be delayed until October, which would be a disappointment. A formal announcement would finally put an end to the guessing game.
Match in July, you would think, makes the most sense that Tank and Roach are fighting in August, unless they talking about pushing the shit all the way back to October, which would be a fucking tragedy. So, we hoping for August, because that's the one that's probably gonna make the most sense. Hopefully we'll get an announcement soon on that so we can stop speculating. Now, with that being said, the Tank Davis Lamont Roach rematch, it will be nothing like the first fight. And I'm tired of people telling me that, oh, Tank can't do nothing different. Lamont Roach just got his number. He fought the same that he always fight. Really? History shows us that that's never the case. As a matter of fact, we got Anthony Yarde and Lyndon Arthur just fought. I'll go to recent history.
Unlike their first encounter, this rematch promises to be entirely different. The idea that Tank Davis can't make adjustments or that Lamont Roach has figured him out is misleading. History shows that great fighters adapt, and Tank, being a talented pound-for-pound fighter, will return with fresh strategies. Roach is a skilled fighter in his own right, and this bout will bring out the best in both men. Those expecting a repeat of the first fight are mistaken. The fight game is unpredictable, and things can change in a split second. With two elite-level fighters like Tank and Roach, the rematch is set to unfold in a brand new way, and fans are in for a thrilling contest. Lamont Peterson also shared his thoughts on Gervonta Davis's power, stating that while Tank hits hard, he wasn't the hardest puncher he's ever faced. According to Peterson, that title goes to Jonathan Owendo, whose punches were the most punishing of his career. He emphasized that while Tank's shots are impactful, Owendo's punches had a unique intensity that stood out. Peterson's insight provides a glimpse into the variety of power he's faced in the ring, highlighting how even top-level knockout artists like Tank can be matched or even surpassed by others in pure punching strength.
He fight how he always fight. He looked how he always looked in every single fight. Sadly mistaken. This idea that, oh, Lamont Roach he just got Tank number. He gonna fight like that again in the second fight. He could do this, he could do that, bro. Y'all are sadly mistaken if you think the second fight is gonna play out anything like the first fight, bro. Anything, it's not gonna go that way. Specifically when you fighting at the high level, bro. The highs are high levels. When you got a pound-for-pound talent in there like Tank Davis, a really great talented fighter that's skilled, that got everything that you could have, and you got somebody like Lamont Roach who's a very good fighter himself, shit ain't gonna go down like that because the fight game, bro.
Shakur Stevenson recently called out Lamont Roach for a rematch, expressing strong confidence in his ability to win. Shakur explained that he had previously sparred with Lamont, giving him a deep understanding of his opponent's style. He believes that experience offers him a major advantage in a future matchup. While Roach is an experienced and skilled fighter, Shakur feels he has the tools to outbox him. His confidence comes from knowing Lamont's strengths and weaknesses, which he plans to exploit. Shakur is eager to showcase his growth and prove he's ready to beat Roach the second time around.
What's the rematch look like between Lamont and Gervonta, you think?
I like Lamont in the rematch.
You were one of the few that kind of picked Lamont to begin with. Why was that?
I sparred with Lamont. I knew that he was a good fighter. He helped me get ready for the Oscar Valdez fight. And I knew his style with Tank's style, what he was going to be able to bring to the table. I knew it. So.
Did you really win 20 rounds?
I swear to God, on my daughter's life, I won that much money.
How different does a rematch look in your opinion, Shakur? What adjustments do you think we see from both?
Huh?
What adjustments do we see from both in a rematch?
I think I can't tell you game plans. I could be fighting these guys, so I'm gonna keep my secrets to myself. But truthfully, they both good fighters.
Do you think it's a lot different rematch, or do you think it'll be close again?
It's gonna be a hell of a fight.
How did you see Tank in that fight? A lot of people are saying maybe he's just mentally not there. What did you see?
Nah, he was the same Tank. I don't believe that. I don't got no thought in my brain that makes me think that he wasn't the person he been all of these other fights. I think he was the same person. All this stuff that he going through stuff. I mean, everybody go through stuff. So he's the same fighter. He's going to be the same fighter throughout his.
Shakur's comments reflect his determination and readiness to take on the challenge, aiming to silence any doubts about his ability to compete at the highest level. The rematch talk has sparked serious interest among fans, who are eager to see if Shakur can back up his words. Some fans believe Lamont Roach gained major respect after securing a draw with Gervonta Davis, something no one had done before. Before that fight, Roach wasn't widely known, but the draw elevated his status and earned him recognition from fans and analysts alike. For Tank, this changes everything. He knows Roach is a serious threat and is coming fully prepared. The rematch won't be a repeat of the first bout. This time, Tank is determined to prove he's learned from his mistakes and is ready to re-establish dominance. Roach has confirmed that the rematch with Davis is happening, and he's more determined than ever. Reflecting on their first fight, he believes he was robbed of a fair decision and has something to prove. He's coming into this rematch with one goal: victory.
That fight with Tank and Lamont Roach shows y'all how protected Tank has been for the past several years. And the people saying, oh, Tank know Lamont and he disrespected Lamont because they fought in the amateurs. Man, he was cherry picking Lamont, and really thought he was gonna get that win. But Lamont wasn't coming to play around. He stood his ground and fought back. And to be honest, he won the fight. The rematch is going to be a knockout.
Roach's training camp is focused on correcting past mistakes, refining his technique, and sharpening his strategy for a more effective performance. He's moved up in weight, but remains confident in his ability to handle Davis's renowned power. Roach has studied Davis's weaknesses in detail and plans to capitalize on them. He's not intimidated by Tank's reputation or knockout power. He sees this as a chance to prove how much he's grown. With a renewed mindset and confidence, Roach believes he has what it takes to pull off an upset. The rematch has generated major excitement, and fans are eager to see whether Roach can get the win he believes was taken from him the first time. In their first meeting, Roach exposed a key flaw in Davis's career strategy. Tank had long been criticized for handpicking opponents that played to his strengths. But Roach came in as a well-prepared and disciplined fighter who refused to back down. He forced Davis out of his comfort zone, exposing vulnerabilities and showing that even a top-tier fighter like Tank can be pushed to the edge. This fight proved that Tank's usual tactics aren't always enough against a skilled, fearless competitor. Roach made it clear that he wasn't just another name on Tank's resume. He came to win. And for those who say, oh, Tank knew Lamont and beat him in the amateurs, that's irrelevant. Tank underestimated Roach, expecting an easy win, but Roach stood his ground and arguably won. This time, fans expect a knockout in the rematch.
I gotta ask you about fights. Gervonta Davis, draw with Lamont Roach. People looking at it as controversial because of the whole knee. What'd you think of the fight?
It was a great fight. I had it 7-5 Tank, or you can make it the draw. But I feel like Lamont, he did good. He did a great job actually. I just don't think he did enough to to pull it off. You know, and I feel like people was overlooking what Tank was doing in the first like 5-6 rounds. You know, he was like boxing and frustrating him a little bit. You know, but Lamont, like I said before, Lamont did a great job. You know.
Yeah, some people had it Tank, some people had it Draw, some people had it Lamont. Do you think Tank gets a lot of criticism for not knocking Lamont out and Lamont not being in big names, so they overblow it?
I think so, yeah, and I feel like people just don't like Tank to a point where any little thing, just because he ain't knock him out, he probably feel as though that he lost and he didn't, or it was a draw. You know, I feel like Tank was doing a lot of smart things in the beginning, moving a little bit too much, but I feel like he was still like frustrating him and things like that. And I think Tank did a good job. Like, he looked sharp than me. You know, I don't know. People just be talking. You know, at the end of the day, you can't please everybody.
Jaron Ennis recently weighed in on the public's reaction to Gervonta Davis's performance, emphasizing how perception shapes opinions. He noted that fans often overlook Tank's strong start in the early rounds. According to Ennis, Davis boxed well in the beginning, frustrating Roach with his movement and timing. But as the fight went on, Tank faced challenges that some fans fixated on, leading to criticism. Ennis suggested that much of the negativity may come from personal bias rather than an objective view. He believes fans were expecting a dominant knockout and dismissed Tank's solid performance because it didn't meet that expectation. Despite mixed opinions, Ennis acknowledged both fighters did well. He scored the fight 75-75, possibly a draw. While Roach impressed, Ennis felt it wasn't enough to claim a clear victory. His comments highlight the complexity of judging boxing performances and remind us that personal bias often clouds objective analysis in the sport.
You told him peace? No, you told him peace? That's why that light turned off? No, you said something now. You said something to smack home.
Yeah, you got a question?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, come on.
I mean, first thing we got to ask you what you think about this fight, man.
I think it's a great fight. Two great guys. I think Roach is a great formidable opponent. Tomorrow, Tank gonna test his Tank and see how good he is in the late round.
Presumably, Tank is supposed to, win this fight. This is a fight that there's not a lot of doubt about him coming out victorious in. So the talk shifts, and we got to know, Roy, from your perspective, Tank Shakur. When you think about that fight being a potential fight this year, how do you see it going?
I ain't gonna really think about that yet because I'm waiting after he finishes his fight with Roach. Roach is not just your average everyday opponent. Roach is the person who knows Tank, who's been around Tank his whole life. This is a different fight. You can't put Roach to the side like that. I'm sorry. Now, I'm not saying that he's gonna win the fight. I don't know that, but Roach cannot be this underrated like that. You understand? You gotta understand that Roach came from basically the same ecosystem as Tank came from. Roach is a very formidable opponent. So I'm not gonna talk about none of that until we get by Roach, because what I'm telling you about the other stuff don't really mean nothing right now.
Okay, let me ask you this, because this did happen.
I'm feeling good always. How you doing?
I'm always good. You're a special fighter. Tank's a special fighter. What do you like about him? What makes him different?
I like that when Tank come to fight, Tank come to knock you out. Tank don't come to just beat you by decision. He come to take you out. He come to try to get the job done best way he can. And he loves to come there and entertain the fans. He's not there to play around. He's trying to smoke you. And that's what life.
Boxing legend Roy Jones Jr. also shared his thoughts on the Davis versus Roach fight, praising Roach's skill and experience. He stressed that Roach is not someone to underestimate. Having known him for years, Jones recognizes Roach's dedication and believes he's always had what it takes to compete at the elite level. While Tank is favored to win, Jones warned that this is far from a routine matchup. Roach isn't just another opponent. He knows Tank's style and mindset better than most. According to Jones, that familiarity could play a huge role in the rematch. Though he didn't predict a winner, Jones emphasized that Roach is a real threat and not to be taken lightly. He advised fans and analysts not to look ahead to Tank's future matchups until he gets through this serious challenge.
I said that the reason that Gervonta Davis is having a problem is because people are trying to compete and block the venue. I said that people had told me that there were people that were trying to counter-program Gervonta Davis in Houston for that fight, right? That's what I had said then. And that was something that I was like, yeah, it kind of seems like that. And why would I believe that? I would believe that, and I would believe that that would be true because that's a standard business practice in boxing. And it's a standard business practice in music. Now, it may be an underhanded one, but it is still one. When you block venues, or when you put on an event right next to that event on the same weekend, you can, or if you are you have a venue. Make sure I say this very specifically. If you have a venue that you usually use and they just keep competing for every single solitary weekend, right? That's a way where you keep your competitors from being able to get a foothold, and you start trying to crumble their business. Also, people have done that for boxers before, except for they did it informally, which is called doing what? Blackballing you. If you do not fight for a certain promoter, then that promoter is going to go out of their way to try to make sure that you don't have any fights. That's called blackballing, similar to NBA basketball.
Concerns have emerged that Tank Davis may face hurdles in the rematch due to behind-the-scenes business tactics. Turkey Aylul Schick pointed out that some people are reportedly trying to block Tank from securing a venue in Houston by counter-programming, scheduling events at the same time or near the same location. These tactics, while common in the boxing world, are designed to reduce a rival's turnout and affect ticket sales or viewership.
Except for they did it informally, which is called doing what? Blackballing you. If you do not fight for a certain promoter, then that promoter is going to go out of their way to try to make sure that you don't have any fights. That's called blackballing. Similar to NBA basketball players, that's called blackballing. When you have somebody like Mahmoud Abdul Rauf, and Mahmoud Abdul Rauf is a great player, but you don't like his religion. So what do? You blackball him. You put him on the bench. You cut him. When people he tries out for new teams, nobody wants to even give him a tryout, right? Got to go play overseas or something because you get blackballed. So what Knockout Boxing TV said, Knockout Boxing 86 TV said, was that his sources told him that Turkey, and he didn't say the specifics as long as I got into the video, but they're trying to stop Gervonta for having other fights, getting in the middle of the fight.
This isn't exclusive to boxing. Similar strategies are used in industries like music. The goal is to limit a competitor's success by drawing away their audience or denying them access to key venues. It's a subtle form of business sabotage. Though not illegal, it creates additional stress and complications for fighters like Tank Davis. While such tactics are sometimes seen as part of the game, they make it even harder for boxers to stay focused and promote their fights effectively. Davis will have to navigate these challenges carefully if he wants a smooth lead up to the rematch.
It might be there a little longer.
Well, what we did see, is it going to be a rematch, or are y'all still working on it, or what's the plan?
It's going to be a rematch.
But it's
9 times out of 10.
Sealed to delivery.
Yeah, it's on the way.
Okay.
I'm gonna tell you right now, I'm signed the seal.
Okay.
So we waiting on the other half. That's all.
Okay, cool.
I like when people say that my part is done.
Yeah, I did. I did what I had to do.
Yeah.